Okay. So, we're streaming today. We're getting it in this afternoon. We did actually go to the fair briefly. It was so hot. So hot. It was, ugh. It looks like it's starting to rain now, so kind of glad we got it in when we did. My mom didn't end up wanting to go, so we just walked down. We actually walked down before the parade had finished. Because I'm like, well, technically the craft fair opened at 8. We've just always waited until, oh, hold on, I want blue first. Until the parade was over, so we could get out of our driveway, but we just walked down while they were getting near the end of the parade, I guess. Oh, this is all sorts of clumpy. Older color. So, I got some caramel popcorn, some kettle popcorn. Russell talked me into getting a flamingo reversible bucket hat. And they had these thing called Cool Ties, some kind of like crystally gel that soaks up water that you put around your neck when it's hot out. And I was kind of like, okay. He's like, yeah, you want it? And I'm like, I don't know, can we afford to get it? He's like, I wouldn't have suggested it if we couldn't. And I'm like, I don't know, it's a lot. And he's like, It's like, alright, fine. So I got that for when it is absolutely sweltering in here. So we are picking back up with our mandala painting that we blew the stencil up with and transferred to our canvas. And I want to get all of the blue first pass done before we come back in and start working on pass number 2. Oh yeah, and I got a pretty good real fruit cherry limeade. It was a little expensive, but I mean, it is fair food. However, when I have trouble parsing out size, written size to size in my hands. So if I read something is X size, I can't just be like, oh, that's how big it is. I need to see it. And Russell's like, it says a 32-ounce cup for $8. And I'm like, I don't know, is that expensive? And he's like, it's real fruit. And they had different fruit options. They had lemonade and limeade. Ended up getting a cherry limeade. Had half a lime in there. And they threw in some maraschino cherries. It wasn't bad. It lasted me until, I don't know, maybe a half hour after we got home. It was a little hard to hold on to, but it was kind of like a food container cup, and they like hole punched a hole through the lid so you could stick your straw through it. It was kind of ingenious, but it was hard to hold on to. As the cup started to sweat, it got a little slippery, so I was holding it from the bottom. But still, I mean, it wasn't so bad. But it was pretty hot. And they were originally saying it was going to be all kinds of thunderstorms and just like torrential rains and shit this morning. And I think there's just some showers starting to build into the area. I haven't heard it thunder yet. Doesn't mean a whole lot, though. And a couple of the vendors, or at least one vendor where we got our popcorn at on the way home, on our way out, it's like, oh, my radar doesn't seem to be working. And I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. I thought she meant something with her credit card machine. But no, she meant like the actual radar on her phone. And our weather forecast for the last 24 hours has not been entirely accurate. The weather was so much in question that the city was like, yeah, we're not going to make a decision on the parade until like 6:30 in the morning. We need to see what it's actually going to do, and we may cancel it if it looks like there's going to be lightning in the area. Which, you know, fair enough. And I was all set to start a little bit earlier, and then as I was getting ready to finish up and get all of my messages that we were live sorted, the husband's like, hey, so I want to ask you something. And I was like, uh-oh. He's like, it's art related. And I'm like, okay. So he was asking me about a project on a large scale that we could keep if it doesn't sell, but take it with us the next time we do an art giveaway at the farmer's market and put a price tag on that one. Like some ridiculous price. And I'm kind of thinking, well, if we put that much of a ridiculous price on it, we're going to have a card fob, because I doubt anybody's going to have that much cash on them. But we're trying to figure out canvas sizes. And how big we could get in the car. And I'm like, well, I mean, I could just order it. He's like, I don't trust it to show up in one piece. And I'm like, yeah, but I've not really had any problems with canvas shipping and being damaged. Well, he's like, how big would you be willing to work? And I'm like, well, what's our budget? Because I've worked on large canvases before that were like just under my height. So, like, what are we talking about here? I just hadn't worked on a canvas that big in some time. I used to usually do 16 by 20 was where my comfort zone was for a while. In fact, I was so used to going larger with my canvases that when I went smaller, I was really intimidated by it. I was like, I don't know, man. I'm not used to working on this small of a canvas, which is why when we do the needle felting, partially why, I kind of block out where things are going to be positioned, because I will just go thinking that, yeah, I've got all this room, And then suddenly I'm at the bottom and I'm like, oh wait, we still need to do X, Y, and Z. I think ours is going to be a little smushed. Or we're going to have to leave something off. But he's like, well, what if you do... I'm not going to say what it is yet, because we might be recording it. I don't know if I can stream it because of how big it's going to be. This wouldn't happen until next year anyway. Because I need space to do it. And we would have to use the mother-in-law's room to set it up, to give me room to work. And we would have to do it when she's not here, so that we can utilize that room. Because otherwise I don't really have an area that I can work in that would be big enough. And it would be involving tissue paper art. It would be the largest tissue paper art I've done. That's for certain. You better not have been in that kitchen. You know you're not allowed in there. I met a doggo on our way home. That was a good old boy who was apparently up for adoption, who was just so excited. He jumped up, he surprised me, and I had stuff in my hands, so I wasn't really ready for it or expecting it. And they're like, oh no, down, down, down. I'm like, it's okay, I wasn't ready. I was like, oh my goodness, he had his little adopt me bandana on. I was like, well, aren't you a happy guy? Big doggo, though. Like, when he was trying to stand up, his head was, like, to my chest, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, you caught me off guard there, Pepper. There were some dachshunds, too. People brought their dogs to the parade and then just brought them into the craft fair, because they're allowed in that park. Though somebody brought a large dog, and the dog pooed, and they didn't pick up after the dog. I'm like, come on, responsible dog owners. Where you at? You're gonna have a puppy. You're gonna... Well, dogs are puppies. If you're gonna take them out, they're gonna poo. Okay? They're doggos. They're more than likely gonna poo. Why do you not have potty bags to pick up the poo? And they pooed right in the middle of the one walkway. Somebody was like yelling like, hey, wait, excuse me. And we thought they were trying to sell us something. They just didn't want to step in the dog poo because we weren't paying attention. We weren't expecting there to be dog poo right there. But we saw some really cute dachshunds. With some people that were watching the parade, and then we saw them again later, waiting for the rest of their group at the fair. Oh my god, they were so cute. One was short hair, one was long hair. They looked to be about the same age. I'm not sure if they were siblings or not. And The one was all full of sass and I guess bored and was making their own fun. Because they were doing what little tiny dogs do and started digging a hole, and the other one's just laying there watching them. And they were digging and digging and digging, and then they were like rolling around in the dirt, and they just looked so happy. And I was like, oh my god. I was a little surprised that their human tethers weren't reprimanding them for digging a hole in the state park, but I'd been like, stop. I've been trying to discourage it. Just so nobody tripped or twisted their foot or something, not expecting there to be a hole there. I feel like I have been up for a lifetime today. I'm so tired. We had another long night with Momo. Although it was a little better than the night before. I don't know why he's so much worse at nighttime. And he started being weird again. He always starts acting extra strange coming into a weekend, let alone a holiday weekend. So I don't think our vet's open till Tuesday. So it's like great. And we couldn't tell if he was just hungry or what his deal was. He was being a little extra licky all over. We haven't seen a single flea. We're pretty sure we would see them on the other animals, and we've been checking him. Haven't seen a thing. We've been spraying where he licks some spots raw on his feet with some hot spot spray to try to make it less itchy. And then he starts licking someplace else, and I'm like, what are you doing? We finally just didn't know what the heck was happening last night. He had been doing the feet licking, or the edges of his feet licking, for a little while now. And I had asked the husband if he had mentioned it to the vet. He goes, no. I was like, we need to tell them what this is, because I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know if it's just like doggy dermatitis or what. But something's strange. So last night we ended up giving him some Benadryl, and we're like, how much do we give him? And the husband was trying to look up doses. And he goes, well, I found this amount, and this syringe is less than that. I was like, yeah, but for what weight dog? And he goes, for 13 pounds. I'm like, he's 13 pounds? And he's like, yeah. I was like, he used to be almost 20. Like 18, 20. So my boy's lost some weight since he hurt his back, apparently. Or he really is that hungry because he didn't like that wet food that he had to be on for a while. So we gave him half a dose of Benadryl. It seemed to help a little bit. And then he started getting fussy again around 4:30. So we took him out to pee again. Gave him some more, the rest of the Benadryl, and he seemed to settle down again. I thought you weren't going to the grocery store.
No, I changed my mind.
So, did you get something different, or?
Yeah.
Don't eat it now.
I'm not going to have much here.
Well, I didn't know what you got. I didn't want you making biscuits and gravy.
No, I'm not going to make that.
When I'm making pizza in a little bit. Okay. What the hell? What was that?
What was what?
I don't know, it sounded like something fell next to me, but I don't know what was.
Don't know, huh?
That was strange. So we might end up taking a ride down to Fort Smith. To go to Michael's down there. We're gonna check a different store first, but I wasn't seeing any sizes listed for a big enough piece of canvas that was closer. And I could try to stretch my own, but I've never stretched my own canvas. So I don't know what level of jackassery that's gonna be. I don't know if we could get the roll of canvas in the car either. Depends on how big the roll is, how long it is. Okay, so that's round one of the blue. Now I think that we're just using acrylic craft paint, nothing too fancy. Now I think we definitely need to do a second pass on our blue here. I was just getting the extra paint that had accumulated out of our brush. Excuse my fingernails if they look pink. They are. We just re-dyed my hair to freshen it up for our trip. And the color likes to bleed off of it a little bit. And stain my fingernails if I run my hands through my hair. We probably have one more. Well, I say that. We probably have at least one more week on this guy. Is what I'm thinking. Could be a little more. Depends on how detailed we go with our decorating the inside bits. And I need to touch up the surrounding edges a little bit. With some black. And I've noticed with these black canvases, now I've not worked with black canvas before, so I mean maybe some people are used to this. Maybe it's just the brand of black canvas I got. But on the other one that we did the paint markers with, oh, it's doing it on this one too. The what is this? Like, I'm getting like weird marks on the corners. That's actually the canvas. I don't know if the gesso didn't cover that or if that scraped or what, so I was a little miffed to see that. But I mean, we should be able to clean that up with some black paint. Still doesn't make me too happy about it. I mean, it wasn't the most expensive canvas either. We did get it pretty cheap on sale. And it wasn't like professional grade or something, but still. Didn't really expect it to do that. So I'm a little surprised. So I think we did like 3 to 4 passes on the orange. Right? This is second pass on blue. Actually, it might have been more than 4 passes on the orange. Just to get that pretty bright. I don't know how many passes we're going to need to do on this. I was hoping second pass would do it. But now that I'm seeing parts of the second pass starting to dry, I'm not sure that's going to be enough. We'll have to see what it looks like here. It says there's a lightning bolt like right over town. I never heard it thunder. Not even sure if it's actually raining. The radar says it is. There's a fair amount of traffic out there. A lot of people were having yard sales with all the extra traffic in town. I'm seeing some little fuzzy guys appearing. Actually, it might actively be raining. I thought that was the husband doing something in the kitchen. But that might be the cars going by on the wet road, because there's a lot of traffic. And I don't know what they're going to do about square dancing competitions today, because it was supposed to have started at 1, and it's all outside. Unless they're making them dance in the rain. That I don't know. I was actually surprised they managed to get the parade in. With the way the forecast was, Oh yeah, that is the traffic. Oh, it's pouring. Good, we needed it. We really needed the rain, though. I'm not mad. I'm sure all the vendors are. But most of them had little tenty guys to combat the weather. Sorry, there was a little fuzz there. I don't know if the camera had seen it or not, but it was driving me crazy. And I didn't necessarily want to attach it to the piece if it wasn't already. Wow. Well, it got really dark. Oh my goodness. I wonder if all the traffic noise is people bailing out of the fair. That's a lot of traffic that we are hearing. Well, I'm hearing it. I don't know if the microphone's picking it up. Still, the black canvas, even though it's got that weirdness on the corner, it still saved us some time from having to paint the entire thing. It just kind of looks like they took a white canvas and just gessoed it with black gesso, and that's fine. Still saved me money buying black gesso, since it's not something I do regularly. am almost done editing the last painting video. I've got about 7 or 8 minutes left of video to go through. And with the way I edit it, that'll probably take me another couple of hours. And then I can lay the background music in. And then we can render that guy. So I'm hoping to get that finished this weekend. Excuse me. Oh wow, yeah. It is really coming down. That probably explains the husband's sudden headache. More than likely. So we're still, one of us are, one of us will, more than likely, be attempting to play through the Planet Zoo tutorials, because we didn't stream doing that. He has a little more patience for the tutorial scenarios than I do. Oh, there's some thunder. Okay, so if our power goes out and the stream goes down, I will try to get back, if I can, before 4 p.m. Central. The last time it stormed pretty bad. We were under a severe thunderstorm warning and some trees fell on some power lines. And there was an accident and somebody hit a utility pole. So our power got flickery and kept going off and on for like 15 minutes. I'm not anticipating that to happen today, but if it should, just know I will try to get back if it comes back up. In the meantime, hang on, I've got a message here. Don't know why. Oh, okay. Husband was letting me know where he was in the house. He's been gone a while. Sometimes when he's gone a while, he's in the shower. And since it's thundering, don't want him in the shower. Sometimes that's one of his comfort, overwhelmed, calm down things is to get in the shower. I don't necessarily want to say desensorize, because showers are very sensory with temperature and water spray and then soap, and there's a lot going on there. But sometimes just chilling out in there for a little bit helps him to reset himself. Okay, look you. Could we maybe slightly cooperate? Thanks. So my paint's getting a little bit thicker here because I've got a glumpy bit. I was trying You know what? I need some toothpicks. Yes. I need some toothpicks. I was trying to work around the glomps. Let me see if I can get a husband to bring me some. See if he gets that message. I don't have a cell phone to text him, so we use Discord to communicate back and forth. He's got it on his phone. Sometimes Discord can be a little slow. Letting him know that he's gotten a message. It's very possible that he'll walk back in here and I'll end up verbally asking him for it. And by the time he hands it to me, then he'll get the notification that I sent him a message. Momo ripped both of us awake with one of his really weird, whiny, high-pitched, whiny howls. And we thought something was wrong and he was just being fussy because he wanted us up. It was getting near time for his medication. I had an alarm ready to go off. And he woke me up about 15 minutes before the alarm went off. Like, ripped me awake, and I was already knew it was going to be a rough day getting up early so we could get our pizza dough made, because we were testing the mixer, because it started making a really weird smell the last time I used it to make Russell bread, and it smelled like burnt fish, and I'm like, what is happening? So I thought there was something wrong with it. So I like freaked out and quick turned it off and finished what I had to finish on the bread by hand. And he opened it up and all of the grease inside was like jet black and chunky, and oh, it smelled so bad. He goes, I think we just need to clean it and replace the grease. So he tried to do it the first time, and then he had to order some parts for it. Some gaskets or rings or something. Because he thinks that those might have needed to be replaced, and then he had to order a different grease for it. Because he found a different tutorial on YouTube on how to do that, and they recommended a different one. And then he had to get a special pair of pliers to deal with one of the parts on it, because we didn't have that. And we tested it out this morning and all seemed well, so yay. He took it apart and managed to get it back together. The first time he tried to put it back together, it wasn't going back together, but finally figured out what had been going on there with that. Well, it's thundering now. It's getting rumbly. Alright, we need some more paint here. I don't know if he got my message. give it a shaky, shaky. This paint I try to use in smaller doses when I can. See, like there's still a little bit of usable paint on there, and you'd think that this was my last bottle of paint, the way I'm like trying to pull every last bit of paint I can scrape off of that paint glomp. I have a couple more bottles of this color. But my brain's like, no, my precious. I found the soundtrack for My Neighbor Totoro on Spotify. And they've got the song from that Hey Let's Go song. And I can't remember if it played at the beginning or the end, or both. And I'm just now actually listening to it. And I think they're singing in French. What? I'm hearing un, deux, trois, un, deux, trois. What is happening? Why is this in French? Is it in French? Or are they singing it in different languages? I am so confused. What? Or does un, deux, trois sound similar to 1, 2, 3 in Japanese? I'm confused. I don't know any Japanese. It could just be the way they're saying this. Because the rest of it sounds Japanese. Maybe it just sounded similar. It's like a kids' choir singing this part. So maybe it was just... I don't know. Oh, that was weird. Maybe it just sounded similar? Oh, thunder. Oh, that's gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to remember to look that up now. How do you say the number 1 in Japanese? Maybe we'll ask Hey Husband. If Hey Husband ever comes back from his expedition to longingly stare at the shower and not being able to get in it because it's storming. I'm not mocking him. I genuinely feel bad that he can't get in right now. I know sometimes my tone doesn't always come across quite clear. 2 passes on this color might be enough. Like other people have those Hey G devices or Hey S devices or Hey A devices. I don't want to say them because I don't want them to go off on people. In case somebody's listening without headphones on. Oh. But my Hey Husband seems to be missing in action here. Well, I'm glad we didn't have any barbecues planned or anything for this weekend. We're excited it's gonna be in the lower 80s this week. It's actually gonna cool down a little bit. I might have to go find my Hey Husband. I mean, it's quite possible that my brain just defaulted to hearing en deux trois because that's a part of a foreign language that I know. And I could see that happening. I used to be able to count to 100. I don't know if I could even make it to 20 at this point without a refresher. Ooh, I think I can get to 10. Maybe. Maybe. I'd probably flub some of the numbers though. Oh gosh, so what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, I'm not getting to 20 without a refresher course. It's been too long. Because everybody was taking Spanish in school, and I'm like, I'll take French. Everybody's taking Spanish. Hey, husband.
Call for me?
You've been gone so long. I messaged you asking for some toothpicks, please.
Toothpicks, okay, how many?
I don't know, just a few.
Okay.
And then I need to ask my Hey Husband another question when you come back. He's like totally not even phased. So I hope everybody's having a nice weekend. Anybody doing anything fun or exciting to close out summer.
Here are 3. That's how many I grabbed. What's the other question?
Thank you. So, hey husband, how do you say the words 1, 2, 3 in Japanese?
I don't know.
You don't know?
Not off the top of my head, no.
See, the hey husband doesn't look stuff up. You have to ask the hey husband, and you might not get an answer.
Did you say, hey husband, how do you do this? Or did you say, hey husband, can you check how this is done?
You have to be very specific with hey husband.
Well, again, if you have a request, you have to be specific.
Can you look up how to say it?
Uh-huh.
Because one of the My Neighbor Totoro songs came on. The Hey Let's Go, and for a second it sounded like they were singing the numbers in French, and I was like, that can't be right. And I wasn't sure if they sounded similar. Or if my brain just like, oh.
So you need 1, 2, 3?
Yeah.
It's itchy, knee, and sand. With the understanding that my pronunciation might be off.
Huh. I don't think it sounded like that.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was French.
Could be for all I know.
But it sounded like French mixed with Japanese. Suginami Children's Choir sounds Japanese, right? Doesn't sound French. They're saying un, deux, trois. I swear they're singing in French.
No idea, dear.
That is so bizarre. It's one of those things that's gonna bug the frig out of my brain.
No idea.
I don't either. Because parts of it sound French and then parts of it don't. And it's just so suddenly there that I was like, huh? So, I mean, we can still check the closer art store if you want first and see what their prices are and how big they've got. Before we would make the trek an hour away. So did it start raining before you came back?
Very, very lightly.
Because I was sitting here and all of a sudden I heard this like really weird like hissing whooshy noise. And I'm like, what are you doing in the kitchen that is making this hissy whooshy noise? I thought you were like using the blender or something at first. And then I realized that it was the traffic. I was like, wow, that downpoured. We got there and back in a good amount of time. Because it looks like this is going to keep up off and on.
Yeah, it just hit a little later than originally planned, that's all.
Yeah, it started right around maybe like a half an hour into the square dancing expo. Not expedition. The the showing what we can do, not the competition part. Competition's supposed to start at 6 tonight. And where they dance is outside. So I doubt they're doing it right now with the lightning in the area. I felt kind of bad for some of the stalls that had put down like these, I guess they were like indoor-outdoor rugs. Those things are going to be an absolute mud fest. 'Cause parts of the park have grass in them, but some of the parts do, it's very thin and it's more muddy when it gets wet than just wet grass. And I'm like, wow. And they've got all those extension cords just laying on the ground and connections and shit. There's gonna be so many blown fuses and tripped shit down there. Today is not going to be, well, this afternoon is not going to be a good turnout.
No, not with it pouring that hard.
Well, I'll tell you, as a vendor, I would not want to be under those canopies in the lightning. There's not much to them.
Yeah, but at least they'll protect you from the direct hit.
I don't know. I think the lightning would go straight through it.
Nah, assuming they're metal, which they pretty much have to be.
The frames are metal, but...
Yeah, then it would hit the frame, melt the frame, but hit the ground. So you probably get like some burns, but it probably wouldn't direct hit kill you.
Oh, somebody had video that was storm chasing. I think from, was it last night or the night before? They caught video of a lightning strike on a water tower in a town, and the lightning strike burned a hole through a part of the water tower, and there was just water cascading to the ground. Like gallons and gallons and gallons. And they said it didn't stop till the water level got below the hole. It was wild. You're like, well, folks, we have a boil order in town, and there's gonna be some low water pressure. That was some crazy footage. I don't remember what town it was, like what state it was in. I was seeing it pop up in my feeds yesterday. Whoop. Is your pen light in need of charging?
I'll put it on just in case.
I just charged mine the other night. I don't think it needs to be charged yet. But we will see. We don't appear to be under... Oh wow, this thing's just gonna sit. Have you looked at the radar?
Nope.
There's this weird blob sitting like right over top of the road number on the radar for here. I mean, I feel bad for the vendors, but we really needed this rain. My colis was wilted. My elephant ears were like, enough! Too hot. They're all leaning forward, or unless they're just too heavy for the amount of dirt that's around them. We need to put more dirt in those planter boxes next year. If we're able to salvage these bulbs and they survive over winter. We're going to try to winterize them. We'll have to make room in our laundry room to store them. I think they need to be kept cool, but not like super cold. We might need to rinse the dirt off and dry them too. This guy just looked a little bit thin there. Probably didn't need to do that, but okay, this should be our last second pass here. So I don't know when the husband's gonna get around to trying to do the Planet Z tutorials. Like playing the in-game tutorials, not making his own. We hadn't discussed that yet. He was talking about trying to stream it. But that kind of depends on when he's up to streaming it. We will have to see. And I think I'm gonna ask for a new microphone for Christmas. 'Cause this guy's... I don't know, ever since I changed locations, or changed computers maybe, this mic has not been so great. Unless it's just showing its age. This is a pretty old microphone at this point. Because I had this microphone with the other computer for quite a while. Uh-oh. Sirens. There's been an accidente. Oh, we were walking back and traffic was backed up down past the park grounds where the fair was happening. And there was a fire truck trying to come through. Some people tried to scoot over as far as they could into the shoulder. And some people just stayed sitting there in their lane. Like, didn't even try to scoot over. The fire truck wasn't happy. They had to go full on into the other lane. It was ridiculous. I'm like, you guys could at least make an attempt to try to scooch over. And like, some of them didn't even attempt to scooch over until the fire truck was like almost on their bumper. I'm like, how could you not hear those sirens? They are loud as hell. Laying on that horn. Flashy, flashy lights in your rearview mirror. Like, hello? Are you all just really not paying attention? Felt really, really bad for the crew on the fire truck. I'm like, wow, this has got to be frustrating as all get out. I was kind of perturbed about, they were making announcements at the one pavilion, because they were doing all kinds of like smoked bologna sandwiches, half chicken dinners. I'm not sure if they were doing turkey legs today or if that's tomorrow, but they're like, oh, we have the same prices as we did last year. We're trying to help out the community. And it really felt like a snub to one of the other vendors that posted that they were going to be doing hot dog, bag of chips, and a drink for $10. And people were commenting on one of the Facebook pages, bitching them out that that's too much money. We can go to Costco or Walmart and get that for like $1.50. And I'm like, no, you can't. Maybe just the hot dog, not with chips. And if you don't want to pay it, then don't pay it. Eat somewhere else. There wasn't a whole ton of food options. I think there was like 3 different food options down there, and it just felt like they were making a dig at the other vendor. And it really wasn't that bad of a price, to be perfectly honest, considering you're paying for the convenience of food being right there and not having to leave the grounds to go find something to eat. Oh, it kind of pissed me off. Maybe it's just me. Just the way they were saying it made me feel like it was one of the angry posters about it being so expensive. And then they were trying to make the post into something that it wasn't. And I'm like, it's a food truck, guys, at a fair. What the hell prices do you think you're going to be paying? Some of you all need to be reminded that this is a fair. And you're going to be paying fair food prices. And some people were saying, that's not a bad price. We went to the county fair and paid double that for the same stuff. So, like, quit your bitching. And again, you were allowed to bring your own food in. Bring your own cooler. There's picnic tables around. Have your own picnic. Nobody was saying you had to buy that food. Like, what? Why? I don't know. I think it's just people behind keyboards feeling brave. And half the time they wouldn't actually say what they say to other people's faces. But they're posting under their supposed names, so it's like, I mean, people are gonna know who you are in town. Some people post anonymously. And I think some people do post anonymously on some of these Facebook pages for town groups because they don't want to deal with the BS from other group members that are just like these little rabid chihuahuas that always have to add something even when they have nothing to add of any substance. But they've just got to be all up in there. I'm like, you know, you guys should get a hobby. Like a real hobby. Go do something constructive. Instead of being mean asshats to people. How about we do that? That sounds like an idea. Redirect all that energy somewhere else. I know there's one thing that a few people in our community have been doing that I don't agree with. And it's... I don't even know how they're getting this information. Or... like, I don't know if they're getting... if they've signed up for, like, specific emails, or if they know the person. Because they're posting, like, intake mug shots from the county jail. And posting the reasons that people were arrested that are either from this specific town or the next town over. That were arrested for... how do I want to word this without getting my ass in trouble? Unsavory, unbecoming contact with certain groups, whether they be small wee ones or females, like adult females or whatever. Unsavory and possibly indecent contact. But that's what they were arrested on. And I'm not saying that they didn't do it, but I've also seen some people falsely accused of doing things. And I just don't understand why they need to blast somebody else's business all over Facebook pages with their full names and addresses of where they live. When they haven't been found guilty and gone through the court system yet. I don't know, that kind of bugs me. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's my misunderstanding of things, but it's hard because it's like you don't... like, you want people to be aware of what this person may be up to and to safeguard yourself, but at the same time it hasn't been proven for sure yet, and there's the whole thing of, you know, innocent until proven guilty. I don't know. And then there's like the whole thing, well, if somebody, say a victim, didn't want their business being blasted all over these Facebook pages, like, I don't think you're really being all that helpful. I don't know. I'm conflicted with how I feel about it. Like, I feel like there's more to a story, and I would like to hear the story about what happened. Instead of just outright blasting somebody for what they were accused of. So I want to see what this looks like. Getting real damn nervous about the tropics though. Because now they've got 3 systems circled that just suddenly appeared and I'm like, damn it. And they're like, oh, it's gonna be real slow movers over the weekend, so we're just kind of watching them, and I'm like, no, no. It's like, you've been this quiet. Can you, like, wait to do this until we get our trip in, please? So this section, or this bit of paint rather, had some pretty big glumps in it. Hey Zorts! I forgot I don't have stream elements running, or not stream elements, stream avatars running. Like, I didn't hear the flamingo. Right. We don't have the flamingo somebody's in chat bot going. How are you? How goes your day? What are you up to today? Working today? I know you said something about moving your wrestling stream, but I don't remember what day it was that you were going to try to move it to. Another Labor Day weekend where you're working. Well, are you at least getting overtime or holiday pay? Not overtime. This color looks almost metallic when it's wet on this. Oh, and here I was thinking the storm ended. And it was just raining. Nope, we're still going. You even got the extra fun of being mandated overtime on Labor Day itself. Ugh. Are they at least paying you the overtime pay? Or the holiday and overtime pay? I mean, are you getting the extra pay for it? I know it doesn't really make up for it, but... like, what was the whole purpose behind Labor Day, anyhow? Like, weren't we supposed to have Labor Day off? I don't remember the history behind Labor Day. Hey husband, what's the history of Labor Day? Why was it started?
No idea. Let me use handy Google.
I can't afford a hey A word, a hey S word, a hey G word, so I have a hey husband. I don't want to say those words in case somebody doesn't have headphones on and it sets them off. You get 8 hours of holiday pay plus time and a half for hours worked on Labor Day itself. Well, I mean, I guess that'll help go towards your car situation. Frustrate.
That's exactly what it sounds like. It's basically a celebration to honor and recognize the American labor movement. In other words, unions.
Oh. So you retail schmoes are out of luck.
Well, not if they were unionized. I mean, it's basically commemorating the kind of shit they got up to that caused unions to happen in the first place. So...
You lousy peons will get your Christmas Day and Thanksgiving Day off, and you will like it.
Except for your retail assholes, you guys get a half day because we're closing for 8 hours. Except for you overnight stocking assholes, get to work.
Yeah, that was always a bitch. You casino employees, we never close, so fuck off. You had to get that request in a year in advance, and nobody gets New Year's Eve off. Unless there's some kind of dire emergency and you're in the hospital. 4 nights in a row. Yeah, I can see that being a bitch. For sure. So I decided I wanted these little extra teardroppy guys to be orange too. So I wasn't sure what color I wanted them to be, but I figured they would probably look better orange with our, what color is this? Royal fuchsia filled in around them. So they got their ridiculously long parade in that we weren't sure they were going to have. And anybody can just be in this parade. I thought there was a fee to be in it, but I might have been wrong. It was so long. They had a couple tractors pulling some of the square dance team floats, and those tractors don't move very fast. So the parade got kind of stretched out. They had a semi pulling what looked to be a flatbed, and then the flatbed was towing a full-on semi-trailer, I think. I'm like, how the hell did you even make that turn? Because there's 2 very tight turns on this parade route, and I'm just like, how did you make that turn? I'm not even sure what it was advertising. The one semi-trailer had some kind of weird-ass hippie writing on the side of it, like the 60s weird bubble flower thing. I couldn't read it. It went by too fast. Before I registered what the hell I was looking at, I was trying to figure out what it said, and it had already gone past my window. I was like, okay. Because I was in the middle of making our pizza dough for tonight, and I wasn't fully paying attention. There was one guy right across... Russell and I aren't really big parade people. We don't really enjoy large crowds. They irritate us to a degree. Especially me. And there was one guy right across the street from our house. Just same tone of woo. Every single thing that went by,
Woo!
we could hear it clear as day in our room with the door shut, window shut. This house is not soundproof at all, and I think the dogs were starting to get annoyed. We actually thought it might have been a dog howling at first, until we realized that no, it wasn't. What's the matter?
Nothing, I'm not pressed.
Hey, husband.
Coming.
You're being summoned.
This is $5 for our family front porch. $5 for the chairs. It's so
And I'll put it in the thing.
if it stops raining right now,
He's already made the pizza.
I'm sure.
What's the matter?
Nothing, I was gonna get dinner.
She wanted me to go get dinner.
How about we get it tomorrow night?
How about tomorrow?
Um,
Or did you really want dinner tonight? What do you want?
Every time I make dinner early,
I can go get
my mom wants takeout. Every time. Like clockwork. The one night I was in the middle of
I'm not
making
worried about it.
pizza dough. It was in the
I'm
mixer.
not worried about it.
one morning, and she's like, let's get takeout tonight. And I'm like, I tried putting the pizza dough in the fridge, and it didn't come out of the fridge okay. Like, it didn't want to stretch or anything, so I'm like, well, alright, this didn't work. And then we had to get takeout a second night because I didn't have anything else ready to go.
So your mother really wanted me to go to Wendy's for her?
Uh-huh.
So I'm just going to go get that for her, and we'll just split the pizza dough between us this time.
Can you get them some nugs?
Yeah.
Because they've had their plain nuggets before.
Yeah. At least Mom was laying stretched out a little bit now.
Yeah, last night was a rough night with the boy. But yeah, we've already learned that pizza dough doesn't refrigerate. Well, it doesn't come out of the refrigerator well. Or it just needed more time to come up to room temperature because our fridge is very cold. But we'll see what the weather's doing when it comes to go getting the dinner time. So she just couldn't stand the thought of pizza, huh? It's funny, I'll do like chicken nuggets, pre-made chicken nuggets. I haven't made homemade chicken nuggets in a while. And she's like, oh, that was really good. I'm like, all I did was put it in the oven. Literally, all I did was thaw it out. I'm like, anybody could have done that. There was nothing special about that. Although I did find a chicken... Well, no. I found an Alfredo sauce recipe that worked out pretty good. It doesn't reheat well. But, I have that I can make. It's expensive to make, though. Because we got a block of Parmesan cheese from Sam's. And the heavy whipping cream is not exactly cheap. But it's not bad. It was definitely better when I added chicken and broccoli into the sauce. It made cook time a little bit longer because I baked the chicken. Oh, goodness me. This storm is just sitting. It's just sitting over top of us. And it's lightning just enough where I don't think they're doing any of their dancing. Yeah, we had some lady who wanted to pay us $5 to borrow a chair. I don't know why she didn't come prepared with a chair. Maybe she thought she would sit on the ground and then realized she didn't want to. I'm like, who comes to a parade and doesn't bring their own chair? Or some kind of sitting device. And I'm like, well, we're not gonna let them borrow one of our metal folding chairs because we might not get that back. So, and we paid, those metal folding chairs were not cheap. Those were a little expensive. For what they were expensive. And we still had my desk chair that we had to replace sitting on the front porch because we didn't know what to do with it for right now. We need to do our yearly big cleaning But we're trying to wait till it gets to be a little bit cooler out. And make sure that, try to figure out if the RV's coming back before the end of the year. So we can grab anything that they have amassed with them and throw it in with it. And we were thinking we were just going to hold on to it till then. So we let her borrow that, because if it didn't make it back, we're like, okay, fine, whatever. And you know, the stuff on it was sort of starting to flake from the cats clawing it, whatever material was covering it. That like fake plasticky leather stuff. At least the chair I have now is a bit more solid than that one was. But I'm like, well, she's not gonna take any of the other chairs off the porch. We had 2 rocking chairs. And then we had this weird wicker chair that went with like a couch. The couch is broken. We have that sitting alongside of our carport. I think we need to get rid of that. But then the cat started laying on it outside, so I'm like, do we hang on to it for them to lay on until it gets more broken, or are we just going to get rid of it when we do our massive trash pickup? So our town does like a spring, they call it a spring cleaning. You get 1 free pickup per year of like anything that's not considered hazardous. So if you just have like a bunch of trash to get rid of in one go, or stuff that you can't really recycle, like we've got a bunch of kitty litter buckets. They're not recyclable. Our town doesn't take the plastic that they're made out of. So we either have to give them away to people, use them for our own storage, which we have done and still do, but we still have a mountain of them. We have a whole bunch outside on our trailer. We started stacking stuff on the trailer because we thought we were going to do a dump run. And then we never ended up doing the dump run. And so it's still just kind of all sitting out there. And we've got probably at least 1 stack, if not 2, in our laundry room taller than me. However, Sam's isn't carrying that particular cat litter anymore. So, excuse me, it might not be an issue any longer. We either need to take a whole bunch up to his uncle, who uses them, or we just need to get rid of them. And I don't know if we really... How far is it to your aunt's house? Like an hour? Husband? Hey, husband. He has his headphones on.
What's up?
How far is it to your aunt's house?
Which house?
Missouri.
I've got no idea.
You drove it.
It was at least an hour and a half.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah.
Because I'm trying to think of, do we get rid of those buckets in a pickup, or do we take them up to him?
Probably pick up.
Like, I don't know if it's worth that far of a drive, and I don't know how many more he actually needs. I've lost track of what number coat we're on. I know we're on not enough, because I can still very much see the black canvas underneath there. I'm thinking maybe one more pass on these guys. So I need to get a lot of tissue paper within probably like the next maybe 6 or 7 months. So if anybody sees any websites with a good deal on tissue paper, let me know. Because the husband has an idea for a pretty large art project for me. And I'm gonna want the colors to all be within the same range, and I don't think I'll be able to color match what I have on hand, so I think I'm gonna have to get all fresh tissue paper. Wow. So there's a chance it might stop storming in a little bit, excuse me. They might get the competition dancing in. Exhibition, that's the word. That's what it was supposed to be this afternoon. But they've got like 3 days of exhibition in the early afternoon, and then in the evening competition. I don't know if they're counting scores from all 3 nights, or what. Monday looks like it's going to be a better day for them. Potentially. Although, with the way our weather forecast has been, maybe not. This kind of reminds me of Kraft mac and cheese orange. Just a little bit. Like the old Kraft mac and cheese orange. They've changed the coloring on it. I think they went to natural color now, or non-enhanced or something. Oh goodness, okay. Like, I like this color. I do. But I also sort of regret this color, because it's just taking so many coats. At least the coats seem to be drying as we're spinning around to the next section. So next year we might do a road trip. Next fall, potentially, maybe, up to the area that we are thinking about moving to. To scout some things out, get some more information. See what the vibe is like up there. Because it's hard to get the vibe of a town until you physically get there. Google Maps only tells you so much. Kind of get the lay of the land. Figure out locations of stuff. How bad's the traffic? All that good stuff. Find out how they handle city taxes, how they handle your water and trash pickup. Like, we saw a little bit on one of the city's websites, but it wasn't completely black and white spelled out what they considered a cart to be. And it was a little confusing if they were interchanging the word trash can and cart, because it looked like you needed a city stamped trash can. And I need things spelled out very plainly and very cleanly. Okay, this is what we call this. This is what we call that. And you need to pay for X, Y, and Z. You know. No surprises. Because here we have personal property tax and we have real estate tax. Like, it's a little confusing. So everything that we own, like big stuff, we have to pay a tax on that, like, every year. So it's the tax for the property, tax for the cars, the trailer. All that stuff. We have to pay taxes on it every year. Even though it's like, what? I don't believe we had that in New Jersey. You would think we just had the property tax. And like your regular utilities, sewer bill and stuff. So we have some questions about how that's handled. And if it would sort of be like the same situation we have here. So if we do end up following through and do the big art project, I don't know if I'm going to be able to stream it. It would be a long haul project though. It's not something that's going to be done in a month, I don't think. It might take a couple of months to finish. It might be something I start, maybe take a week or two off of and then come back. Or we might just record it. If we can get camera logistics figured out. Because the room I have to do it in doesn't have all of my equipment in it. So it's like, how's that gonna work? It's a very old computer that's in that room that I'm not sure could handle streaming to Twitch, to be perfectly honest. And we'd have to figure out how we're gonna rig the camera and what camera we're gonna use. Because when I record, I just use my Elgato, and I've got it recording directly to my PC through OBS. Or to my hard drive. Usually I record it to the PC and I will break it up into smaller videos. Like if I need to stand up, stretch, take a break, go get something to drink, go to the bathroom, I'll pause the video and come back. Or I'll stop it, cut it there, number it, and then immediately export it to my external hard drive. We have the DSL camera. I don't know if that only takes video in smaller increments. We haven't really tried to take video with that. I think we tried one video as a sample. I don't have a tripod. Well, no, we do have a tripod for that, but it's... Or did that break? I feel like something happened to that tripod. It's not a very stable tripod. The legs on it are very thin. So we'd have to figure some stuff out. Because I know that that PC is not going to handle recording through OBS. I mean, it might handle streaming. Maybe. I don't even know when that computer was last turned on, to be perfectly honest. I don't even know what Windows operating system that one's running on. Like, there's a chance it's on 10, but I feel like it's not. I have no idea. I don't think there's a graphics card, or at least not a decent one, in there. I'm gonna have to set this up on a card table. And I'm certainly not gonna be able to... I'm not picking up a second Elgato for this. That's not happening. I mean, we have that other camera floating around. We laid hands on it. The first camera I had, we did lay hands on it. Not too long ago. We were looking for something and found it by accident. Ironically. And then I don't know what we did with it. I don't know if all we did was make note of where it was and forgot to write down where it was found. Like, just made a mental note. Well, that mental note's long gone. Or if we moved it to a different location. I don't know. I'm not certain. That's probably good, right? What time is it? What time were you going to get her dinner?
Probably only for about 3:40.
Oh, you were saying that you were going to get it for her early, so I was confused. I was like, how early are you talking? Did you need to get her cigarettes too today or no?
She hasn't said anything. Damn. She hasn't said anything.
Well, there's still lightning in the area, even though it hasn't thundered in a while. Alright, so I'm thinking that we fill in some of this black space with our fuchsia. Don't know how that's gonna work. That might have been some thunder there, actually. I have to be careful. I'm wearing a shirt that I really probably shouldn't get paint on. This is probably going to require a few coats as well. That's nothing new though. Okay. Alright, let's move to a dry section here. Now I can clean up the... or I can just make a mess of it right off the bat. Because I slightly glanced in a different direction. And my brush got away from me, as my brush tends to do. I'm gonna clean up parts of this canvas with some of our black paint. Anyway, I don't know if that showed, but I kind of dropped my paintbrush. I was trying to be careful, and well, we see where that got us. Okay. So technically, I probably could come right up to the edge of this. And just paint the black line back in. I'm curious to see how that would look. So sort of tentatively attempting that on this first one. It might be kind of interesting. Might give us a little more of a stained glass feel. That might be fun. Let's see. You know, they give you this lovely little built-in finger grippy. Do I use it? No. I like want to be down here on the middle. I really got these brushes because I'm like, hey, they won't roll off the desk on me because they're not completely round. Now that might be interesting. That might just work. This one's about as transparent as the orange, though. So it's gonna take a few passes. So we're probably gonna be with this color a little bit. I still want to clean up the edges in between it, so I'll probably still end up doing some line work in between. Do I want to bring it out all the way, or do I just want to do the middle piece and then try to figure out what's going to be the easier way of handling this guy? I'm not really sure. We're just kind of making this up as we go. We'll see, I suppose. I do like this black little bit of separation here. So my off-stream Coral Island playthrough, I still haven't gotten to the Savannah on it. I technically have the cave unlocked, but I haven't donated enough stuff to get there yet. I think I have like 3 more donations, and they're all donations that are taking forever. So I'm like, let's go already. I want to explore this more. My off-stream game does have the mermaid crew on the surface, and I'm a little confused because I did a quest where I had to escort them around town for a day, supposedly, or at least part of a day. And the next day it was raining. Next couple of days it was raining in game. And there was like a little note on the quest that said, wait until the next expedition date. And I'm like, huh? And I wasn't quite sure what that meant. I'm like, are they gonna like update the quest some more? Are we just waiting for a day where it's not raining in game and then you're gonna do something else? And then I was like, well, the dates are almost done for them. Like the date selection of when I was supposed to go and meet them by, within like those certain number of days. And I'm like, I don't understand. Was something else supposed to happen here? Did I miss something? And the season ended. And it still says wait until the next expedition dates. And I suddenly had the realization that I think this is a year-long in-game quest. Potentially. Because the next dates listed on the quest are like towards the end of fall, because that game's in summer. Or just finished summer. And I'm like, wait. Does this quest really take a year in-game to complete? Because I play real slow and real scattered. Because it's me. And my brain doesn't like to focus on anything. I'm always all over the place. So it can take me a while to get through a day. And I'm just like, wait, what? Really? I should ask James. Because he got as far as marrying... one of our friends. He got as far as marrying one of the mermaids. The mermaid princess or whatever. Did you just turn your fan off or something?
Turn it down.
Okay. There was suddenly a sound missing. And I got kind of weirded out because I didn't know what it was. It just suddenly got quieter. And I didn't know what was happening. So I don't know what I want to do here. We could do like a little triangle thing. I'm not going to worry about that yet though. Oh, what if we do like a little triangle guy here in the light pink? And then grab the fuchsia and dot that up so we have a little bit of color contrast. Because we're gonna add some accents and dotty guys at some point to this color. So I know my hand is shaky. So we're gonna not have our lines purely crisp here in between our shapes, and that's okay because I'm gonna come back, like I said, and clean that up. With our black paint. Just because the black canvas has picked up some fingerprints and stuff, I was gonna end up cleaning it up to begin with. Whether we added this part or not. Adding this part in. Will cut down the amount of black that I need to come back in and clean up, so that kind of works out. I did pick up some caramel corn and some kettle corn. They were both pretty good. I want to mix them together. But I have to wait for the husband to figure out if he wants any of the caramel corn.
Probably not.
No?
No, you should be good.
I thought you'd wanted to try it. Huh?
The shells.
Oh. I thought you knew that was Shelly. So I'll probably get a Ziploc bag or two. And mix those together. Is he okay? He is being so quiet.
I know, huh?
Unless it's because of the rain. He was not this quiet last night. He was fussing to the point that we couldn't figure out if he was just that hungry. He was eating almost everything we put down in front of him. We're like, you can't possibly still be hungry. We're like, let that settle for a minute. It's like the dog was binge eating last night. I'm like, what are you doing? And then every time we were trying to sneak him something, Zuzu was right there. They're like, hey, I also like this. And I'm like, you're not the one that's ill, buddy. Alright. I keep seeing little fuzzies fly through the air. Wouldn't be unheard of. We have lots of little fuzzy dust bunnies. Right. Do I want the black line there? Or do I just want it to be right up on the edge? I guess we could try one where it is right up to the edge. If I'm going to be cleaning this up anyway. And see which one looks better. We could do that. Because, like, I might change my mind about how I feel about this. Once I get all of it in place. So I don't know, what do you think, husband? Leave a black border in between the shapes, or go solid right up in there?
I would honestly keep going with the pink as it is and not do the border between the larger loads.
So take it right up to the edge?
Alright, see what you did on the first two?
Yeah, I left a border.
Yeah,
So
do that to the innermost section like you're already doing, but leave the outermost alone. But that's me.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Fill this stuff like you're doing. Don't fill this stuff. Like, stop there like you did there.
Really?
Yes. But that's my opinion. Hi, buddy.
But would you take it to the edge, or would you leave the black space?
What do you mean? Which black space? It's all black space.
See how I have the black space in between the two colors?
Oh, I see what you're asking.
That's what I'm asking about.
Oh, I'd leave the black space. That's a little definition.
Alright, so we'll have to come back in. and adjust this guy. We could use the paint pen, maybe. You alright?
Yep, heading out.
Do you have her money?
Yep.
So yeah, we'll come back in and add the black line back into there. When we get around to that. I'm gonna have to do some mock-ups in a smaller scale for this larger project. Because it's gonna be pretty massive. I think the largest tissue paper art I've done was maybe 18. So are we about there? $18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Might be 30 by... maybe 30 by 10-ish. I think that one we might have... Did I do that on stream? Oh gosh, I don't know. I might have recorded that. That was some time ago. Like a couple years ago. I've got it hanging up because it didn't sell. Well, it's still kind of rumbly out. Kind of looked like it was gonna start calming down a bit. My Poodle keyboard tray guard. So now it's just kind of raining with a couple rumbles of thunder on the radar here and there. Like just enough to reset the 30-minute lightning strike. timer. I need to fix my pool noodle. So, the way I sit sometimes, I was digging my knee into my keyboard tray because we've got an L-shaped desk. There's another part of the desk going like this way, over there. So I was like, I want a pool noodle to put over the edge of this, but I keep like pushing my knee into it, and now I've like split it, so I need to... I tried taping the outside. I'm probably gonna have to put some tape on the inside too. Just because it was making part of my knee sore. Because I sit in weird ways at times. As wants to be comfy. A lot of the time I'm sitting with like my left leg tucked up underneath of me. Which probably isn't the best because sometimes I'm like leaning on a vein in my foot or something and I can feel my foot falling asleep, so then I have to change how I'm sitting. Okay. At least I've got a, or at least I should have a decent liner brush to come back in and clean up all of our edges here. And our separations. I still might do that weird like pink triangle piece out here. Still thinking about it. Worst comes to worst, I try it and I hate it. And we cover it back up. Alright, it's just acrylic paint. It's doable. No, we're not gonna have time to, well, no, I don't think we'll have time to get a second coat started on this guy today. We will see. I was really planning on bringing a design out here. So this definitely does need a second, minimum second pass. It might need a third. We will have to see about that third coat. But definitely minimum second. I want to do something with these. Sorry, I kind of just stopped. I got distracted. In the what can I do with you sort of thought process if we don't do the fuchsia in between. I feel like it needs something. Like at this very moment it feels empty. I mean, we're gonna decorate our petals and stuff. Like, I think he misunderstood what I was asking him at first. I mean, ultimately, it is our piece and we can decide. To do what we want. But it seems they feel like forgotten children, all out here all alone. So I don't know. It doesn't feel like there's anything bringing them in now. We might try it. Just to see if it feels a little better. Because something just feels unbalanced with it if it's left alone, to me personally. We haven't cleaned that up in a little bit, so I think I might just take a peek here. We can always repaint it. But I can't get over with it feeling like something's not like something's missing. So we'll definitely have to clean up the lines around this guy. For sure. So is my head in the way? No, good. A lot of the times it is. So yeah, we definitely are butchering the space between the lines, between the shapes here. Excuse me. But I want to see what one of these looks like before we call it a day. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. Sure. Let's make more work for ourselves. Why not? Why not? It's just paint. We'll cover it up if we're not happy. I'm actually trying to figure out how I'm gonna transfer the design onto this big ass canvas. Things you wish you hadn't gotten rid of ages ago that you now suddenly really want, and you're like, damn, I could have used that for this. For 200, please. I had a projector at one point. I didn't use it that much, and then I was like, well, I probably won't really need this again. And I don't have it anymore. It got left behind at the house in New Jersey that has long since been repossessed. Because I was like, I don't need it. Okay, so I think the pink looks better around the orange. But I probably will leave these sections black. Excuse me. Is what I'm thinking. Because it feels too empty without it. Is what I feel like right at this very moment. Yeah. Alright. So I think we will carry on with that. Filling in the pink on the outer edges there, and then do our second coat next week. So yeah, we've probably got at least 2 more weeks on this guy. Possibly 2.5. I don't know if we'll get it done before we leave. That I don't know. We'll figure that out. So, that'll do it for today. Tomorrow, don't lose this. Tomorrow we'll be back with needle felting. We'll be picking up where we left off with the last tutorial of season 3 of The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross. I think we finished the river, and we're going to be touching up our shoreline, and then putting in our water lines in, and then maybe starting that little finger of land that's sticking out there. So we're getting closer to getting done on that one. don't necessarily think we're gonna finish it this weekend. We might have to finish it next Sunday. We'll see how far we get though, because there's a couple of trees in there that might be a little time consuming, but we're getting there. So that's what we're going to be working on Sunday and Monday. I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their weekend. Zort's hopefully work passes quickly. And I will see everyone tomorrow, hopefully. So until next time, you guys, have a good one.